Hey guys, so it's Wednesday, which means it's time to talk about Pikachu, Porygon, and all things Pokemon. So let's hop right into this week's random trivia. So our first piece of random trivia is Kadabra's Pokedex entry, which reads, "It happened one morning. A boy with extrasensory powers awoke in bed, transformed into Kadabra." Okay, so what you're saying is that the new evolutionary chain is a boy with the same characteristics of what it's going to evolve into, and then what it's going to evolve into. So, the next one could be, "A fat boy went to sleep. When he awoke, he was a Snorlax." No, no, Munchlax, then Snorlax. An Abra, then Kadabra. So, I guess what you can do now is you get a smart boy, I don't know, from like one of those schools or something, one of those Pokemon schools. You just get one of them, you put him in your party, and you just turn your DS to sleep mode. And then when you turn it on, you're just gonna have a Kadabra. Is, I guess, what is the new thing now? Is that a thing? That's a thing. Okay, so let's just move on to our next myth and just leave this one behind. Cause I don't want to deal with this ever again. So let's just get on to our next myth, and we can all be happy. Okay. Okay, we're good. You good? I'm good. Let's go. So, our next myth is Switcheroo, which basically just says the Butterfree and Venomoth sprites were switched. And this is a good myth just because it holds a lot of ground. Basically just because Venonat looks like Butterfree. And Venonat does not look like Venomoth. That's basically it. Like, there's not much more to the myth, but, it stands ground. Because the red eyes, the purpleness. But then if you look at Venonat and Venomoth, you have a gnat and then a moth. Doesn't correlate. What? No, they don't even look the same. Like, sure, gnat butterfly's not any better, but at least they look similar. So why does Venonat evolve into Venomoth, guys? Gonna need a little bit of help here. But I guess they just decided that, I don't know. They just decided that it was gonna be like that. I think that the reason they did this is because when Ash catches a Caterpie, they probably just wanted him to evolve into a butterfly. Because, evolving into a moth isn't as cool. So we're gonna move on to our next myth about Gengar and Clefairy, which you all already know, but it's really cool. So yeah. So the next myth is also pretty simple. It's just that Gengar is the ghost of Clefairy. And I kind of like this myth just because Gengar sprite does kind of have the same shape as Clefairy, and Gengar is a ghost type, and Clefairy is a normal type. And what makes this even more coincidental is when Gengar and Clefairy were made, there were only 3 ghost type Pokemon. And they were all of the same evolutionary chain. So yeah, it has a good amount of ground to it. But the reason I don't think that Nintendo was purposely doing this was, just look at their sprites. They're pretty generic. They're literally just like a body, some hands, and some feet. That's literally it. And like a tail. Their tails don't even match up, they just both have tails. But yeah, it's a cool myth. Personally, I just think it's all coincidental. Because, the sprites, they're pretty generic. So, let's just move on to the next. It's not really a myth, it's more of like an anime WTF, which is the GS ball, which you all have probably heard of. I just want to talk about it again because it's stupid and it's crazy. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to have fun with it. So yeah, let's move on. So the next random trivia is the GS ball. Where do I even get started on this thing? So all it is a Pokeball that no one can open. Ash gets it and he's like, I can't open this, I'm gonna give it to some other people. So then the ball just gets passed around a bunch. And guess what? No one can open it. So Team Rocket eventually takes it at some point. They can't open it. Ash gets it back. He still can't open it. So then what ends up happening is it just goes to Kirk. So then Kirk has the GS ball. Kirk's just like the maker of Pokeballs, and like the coolly designed Pokeballs. They just give it to Kirk. So you would think that, later in the anime, the GS ball would have, some significance. No, it just goes to Kirk. He just has it. You never hear from it again. You just have this like 20 episode story arc, and then it just goes away. Now, what was supposed to happen with it was there was supposed to be some longer story arc that involved Celebi. Because, the GS ball is linked to Celebi. But then they were like, Celebi's going to be in the next movie. Let's not use the GS ball anymore. Let's just give it to Kirk. Hope people forget about it. No one forgot about it. We're all just confused. So, the next myth is Shuppet is a Rotom with a cloak on his head. It's basically the same thing as the Gengar Clefairy myth. People saw two sprites that kind of looked the same, so they correlated them together. Like, sure, they look the same, but I don't think Nintendo is doing this on purpose. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, that was our last myth. So, bye guys, subscribe, join the PC, like and comment, if you like the video. So yeah, tune in next time and we're going to do a Mega Mawile analysis for the VGC format. Bye!